Welcome to Top Shelf Book Club, a Mighty Books podcast segment where my sister, Emily McDonald, and I, Ryan Oliver, discuss presumably quality books while indulging in some top shelf liquor. So listen for yourself while we judge books to see whether they earn the right to be rated top shelf. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Top Shelf Book Club. I'm Ryan, and I'm here with...
I'm Emily.
She is Emily. And you can tell we're super stoked today. We're actually very sleepy because we're just always sleepy here on Top Shelf.
I'm working all the overtime, and it makes me want to die a little bit inside.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah,
You're always
like 14 hours of overtime a week.
Yeah, that's healthy. 28 extra every 2 weeks. That's
My paychecks are real happy, but my body is not.
Well, yeah, that's usually how it goes. I don't like overtime. I hate it. I used to do it all the time. You'd be happy to do it when you first signed up for it, and then you have to actually do it and you hate yourself.
Yeah.
But then those paychecks come in and you're like, this is better.
I'm like, ooh, this is nice.
Yeah, then taxes take it and you're like, why'd I do this anyway? This is so ridiculous.
I hate taxes.
Taxers are dumb. Anyway.
I need to do mine. Anyways.
All right, we're done talking about boring adult stuff.
Now we're talking about fun, exciting murder stuff.
Now we're talking about fun, exciting stuff. Okay, and today's book, this episode's book, I think this is episode 6.
Huh.
Holy cow, we're halfway through the season of books. Isn't that pretty cool? Or stories. Because what we're talking about today is not technically an entire book, but a short story.
It sure is.
So
a whole whopping 16 pages.
16 whole pages. So knowing us, it'll take us 3 hours to get through.
At minimum.
At minimum. I hope not. We both have things to do.
We're both pulling for not that, but it's probably going to be that.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, then it's going to be, nope. It's going to be about an hour, I hope. All right, well, only time will tell whether we're liars or not.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay, so this story is a very famous story. I believe fairly influential. I at least have seen similar themes throughout film and TV. It's called The Most Dangerous Game, and it is oh God, I literally just had the name. Richard Connell. I was thinking his name, by Richard Connell.
I'm staring at it, but I'm waiting for you to see if you got it.
Yeah, I'm like, I had to scroll through because I can't find a print version. I just had it on my phone, and so I'm like, find it. Okay, so Richard Connell, Most Dangerous Game. You guys might have heard it. I know I read it when I was in, junior high school.
I read The Lottery. I never read this one.
I read that one too. So
I like that one.
Yeah, this one read, and there's a movie actually.
There is.
Yeah, it's an older 60s movie, I think.
I wrote about it.
Well, actually, how about I turn it over to you, Ems, and you can talk about what you learned about Richard Connell, and if you have any other tidbits of information about the story. The Most Dangerous Game. And it's not Yahtzee or bocce ball, just saying.
I was thinking Monopoly.
That's dangerous too.
Uno.
Yeah.
Both of them
teaches you terrible things about money, and
me and Chris always getting fights over Uno.
And getting fights over Uno.
He's a savage.
So is your nephew.
Oh, both of them. I mean, mostly Lucas, but
Lucas is the savage. Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
So I have a paragraph on Richard Connell and then 2 very short paragraphs on a very not nice person.
Ooh.
So Richard Connell was born October 17th, 1893 in Poughkeepsie, New York. He was an American author and journalist. His father was also a journalist. He started his writing career at the Poughkeepsie Journal. He attended Georgetown College for a year before heading to Harvard. He also served in France in the U.S. Army during World War I, and while in the Army, he was the editor of his camp's newspaper. After the war, he started writing short stories and eventually wrote over 300. He was best known for his short story, The Most Dangerous Game, which was written in 1924. He was partially inspired, I know, to write that by the big game safari tours in Africa and South America. It was made into a silver screen adaptation 8 years later in 1932, which became an instant classic and pitted Rainsford against a shipwrecked brother sister duo. It was also adapted into a radio show in the 1940s. Along with two short stories, he wrote many screenplays. His screenplays, Meet John Doe and Two Girls and a Sailor, earned him Academy Award nominations in 1942 and 1945. Connell died from a heart attack at the ripe age of 56 on November 22nd, 1949, in Beverly Hills, California.
Holy cow.
Rough. So I wanted
Yeah.
to very lightly discuss the serial killer that took inspiration from General Zaroff. It's the butcher baker Robert Hansen. He operated in Anchorage, Alaska between 1972 and 1983. He abducted and murdered at least 17 women. He
Whoa.
was only convicted on 4 counts of murder. He was sentenced to 461 years in prison without the possibility of parole, and he died at the age of 75 in 2014. He was called the Butcher Baker because he owned and operated a successful bakery in Anchorage, selling donuts and danishes to everyone in town. He was very, very well liked.
Whoa.
Yeah. Morbid did 2 episodes on this being. Episodes
Being,
40
yeah.
being
This devil demon
this
creature.
this
Wait,
thing.
okay, so you said that this guy the story was based off of the serial killer?
No, the serial
Oh,
killer took
okay.
inspiration.
Oh, took inspiration. Okay. My
Yes.
brain. Okay, I'm like, how did that? Ugh,
It did
that
not.
sucks. Okay.
That's how, yeah. So
Thank
Morbid did.
you.
You're welcome.
In
Morbid did
this
two
case,
episodes on
yeah.
him. Huh?
So in this case, life imitated art in the worst way possible.
The literal worst way possible.
Oh
So they
my
did the
God.
2 episodes, and I read their episode note summary for these was just hilarious. So it was, quote, Robert Hansen, the Alaskan serial murderer who hunted women like animals and got away with it for a while thanks to his bakery being a town favorite. Yes, you read that right. This guy is a real turd.
Herd is not strong enough a word.
It's not.
Oh.
It's really not. I'm sure they used much profanity in the episodes. That
Oh,
I for sure listened to them. It was just years ago,
I
but
have heard them talk and
yeah,
they are profane and I love it. It's
I love them
hilarious.
so much.
It's so
They're
funny.
so Elena just covered the lipstick murders, and those are like nauseating. And I'm not easily, yeah,
Nauseated.
uh,
Mm.
by that
Well,
stuff. Yeah,
and also we talked about this in the very first episode
we
with
did.
Alana Urquhart's Butcher and the Wren. There was a scene, if you guys are already familiar with this story, there's a scene where it's very Most Dangerous Game-esque, and I think we even mentioned that in the first episode.
We did.
So,
And she's coming out with another book. I tagged you in the post
oh hell
on
yeah.
Instagram.
I am not currently on the medias that is social,
Hmm.
so
Well, I
I will
tagged you
not
in it,
see
and
it.
she liked my comment, so I was really excited about it.
You should post our video and see if she hits
Like,
us up to do an
please look at our
interview.
episode. Oh
Because
God,
I
that
would
would
love to do a tandem interview with you and her. And
I would scream.
I would just watch you fangirl like crazy.
I would cry, I would scream, I would
I would
shake, I
cry and
would
scream and shake just because I'm laughing so fucking hard. That's what would happen.
I'd probably have to take a couple shots before just to like, you know.
Just like
Oh,
I'm just damn. Yeah.
I
Like
love her so much.
I need to take my elixir.
My tequila.
Yeah. Take my it's basically half a tranquilizer just to manage.
Literally, yeah. Absolutely. That would be me. Yeah.
I
If it
love
was
that
her
so
and
much.
Ash, oh God. Can't
Yep.
even.
We
Can't
probably could
can't
work it
even.
out. Probably
I
could
we
work it out.
I
So
might
just
I might go back to that comment and be like,
it's like we
hey,
got a
we
review
did an
for you.
episode.
We got a
We
review
loved
for you.
it.
Yeah,
Please,
exactly.
please listen and come
Please
on the
listen
show.
and comment and come on the show and hang out with us. That'd be cool.
Oh
Anyway,
God, I wish. Anyway,
hey, you know what? We could make it happen. So anyway,
I
back to
manifest.
yes, manifest destiny. If it what is that movie? Field of Dreams?
I don't think I ever saw it.
Okay, well you've heard that if you build it, they will come. If you build
Yeah.
it, they will come.
Yes, I have.
Okay. If
I
we
had to
think
dig
about
in
it,
there.
push the positive energy, they'll hit you up.
I'll do a meditation and I will visualize her
Atta
being on
girl.
our show.
There
There we
you
go.
go.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Or,
Yeah,
we'll just talk about it a lot more on other episodes.
that will
So,
probably happen too. Yeah,
boom.
because we're reading her next book. Like that's not an option.
Yeah,
I think it
yeah,
comes out
it's
in September, but
September.
I
All
think
right.
so. I'd have to look back at the
All right.
post, but I was
Well,
excited.
I'm down. I'm down to read some more craziness. I love it.
It's called The Butcher Games. I'm so excited.
Oh, damn. Okay. Cool beans.
Eat.
All right. Now, most dangerous game.
Yes.
Let's chitty chitty chat chat about that.
Yeah. That.
I may be a little drunk already, but or highly caffeinated and a little tipsy because I have some form of whiskey in my coffee because I needed
Some
to pick
form.
me up. Some form. I saw Irish whiskey. I poured it in my coffee. I said, "This will do. This will do."
This will
So
do.
yeah, and I've got the grumpy mug, so we're
I saw
solid.
that. I love the grumpy mug.
Yes, this is the
I have.
old one.
I just have a Pooh Bear cup
Pooh
that Chris's
Bear.
sister got me.
You have a
It says
Pooh Bear.
here for the honey, and it's my emotional support water bottle now. And then just a regular cup.
That's
So
amazing. Filled with nothing but something liquid.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I got Coke
Look,
Zero, and I can say there's whiskey in there.
there's whiskey in there, guys.
For sure.
Trust us. We're professionals.
Normally I would, but I have to be awake for the next few hours. So
That's
that's the problem.
gross. Being awake is awful
It's disgusting.
unless you're
But, you know.
reading good stories like these.
Haha.
Anyway, segue back.
Back into.
Yes, we're so good at this. Okay.
We're amazing.
I
Staying
mean,
on
I
topic is so
not
easy
our
for us.
jam, but you know what? We have fun.
We do have fun.
We do have fun. I like having fun. We need to
We
do more
do.
fun. So, fun is a thing.
Please.
I know. All right. So,
Cool, cool.
most dangerous game.
Yes.
All right. We open to most dangerous game. Yes, I imagine
The
curtains.
curtains.
Yes, and lights and stuff and things.
We're watching a
Anyway,
play.
we are
Yeah.
watching a play. Actually, it'd be kind of a cool play.
It
Uh,
would be very cool play.
but open up to a couple guys, a Mr. Whitney
Mm-hmm.
and a Mr. Rainsford, who is our main character
Sure is.
of all things, and they're sailing on a boat in the Caribbean
Yes.
at night, which
Yes,
sounds
it is dark.
awesome.
It does.
I wouldn't mind going to the Caribbean too. That'd be cool.
I've been to the Caribbean. It was very nice.
Jerk.
I went with mom on a cruise.
Cool. Later. That's a later trip for us.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, Whitney apparently he points off to the right side, the starboard side, if you will, if you're a nautical naval person
I'll just
guy.
show off really quick.
No, show off. I mean, yeah, whatever. We're in a navy town. Everyone knows what starboard is. Like,
We are
geez,
very
it's
much
not
in a navy town.
not starburst, but starboard.
Two very different things, yes.
Facts.
One is a delicious candy and the other is a side of a boat.
The right side of the boat.
So sorry I didn't specify. Thought we were good with that.
Nah, I don't care.
I know.
I just have to play. Okay, yeah. So he points off. He goes, "There's a mysterious island over there," and he's like, "I don't see it. I don't see it. That's because it's pitch black. Like it's pitch black."
Yeah. Yeah.
Duh. That's pitch black.
The guy's clearly got better night vision, so.
Exactly. So the fact I'm like, I want to know how he identified that. It could have been pitch black at any point in time, and he's like, "Yeah, it's over there." How do you know?
Yeah.
Where's the landmarks? I don't see a McDonald's landmark or a street sign or, I don't see a floodlight or a lighthouse. No.
Well, I'm like, they had to have been like a moon out or something, like if he can see the
Moonless.
generic shape
They
of it.
said moonless Caribbean night.
Well, there goes my theory. So
Nice try. I'm thinking maybe they don't mention anything about what Whitney is or does. He's a hunter. He's a hunter with
yeah, I think all of them are hunters.
with
I think
Rainsford.
they're going on a hunting trip.
To Rio to hunt some jaguars.
Yes.
Jaguars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember now.
So
It's coming back to me.
yeah, I was thinking maybe he's like a navigator, but no, I don't think so. But who knows? He just happens to smell the trees or something off the water. I don't freaking know.
Who knows?
Maybe he hears birds.
Yeah,
Could hear birds, but they didn't mention.
probably.
That's something I've noticed about stories this old. They don't particularly dive too deep in detail.
No, I did think the descriptions of like the scenery was really beautiful.
Hmm.
But then like when we go into like actual of like what is happening, a lot of the times I was like, what? I had to like reread things a couple times to like
Yeah,
really get it.
it cuts scenes very drastically, and
Yes.
they don't like have little stars or next chapter because you could have cut into scenes or chapters pretty easily in this, but he doesn't do
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
I mean, it's a
No.
short story, 16
Yeah.
pages,
Yeah.
not a lot.
No.
But anyway, they talk about big game and hunting, and I like how they talk about what do they say? So he's aboard the vessel. They're going to Rio to hunt jaguars, and they mention it's the best sport in the world because just what you do in the 20s
Sure.
is
Don't got nothing else to do.
hunt things and get cancer, um,
Yep.
and deal with depression, the financial
Yes.
depression, and real
Yes.
depression. Anyway,
Probably real depression too, yeah.
well, people did jump off of buildings after the stock market crash. That was a thing. So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
more
Dark
positive
days.
notes. Yeah, death and murder.
Yes.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
sometimes.
We're gonna prove upon that
Yeah, we're gonna just go
with some
crazy.
more.
Hmm.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So he says it's the best sport in the world, and I like how Whitney goes. He responds to that goes, "Yes, for the hunter, not the jaguar." And
Ha ha
Rainsford
ha.
goes, "Who cares how the jaguar feels? Perhaps the jaguar does." And I mean, I already knew how the story was going to go. I read it back when I was like 14, but I love the irony and the foreshadowing of it. I just thought that was well done.
The funny thing is, I didn't even think about that because I was so confused. My brain was trying to figure out how we get from a ship to a murder island. Like, I was just like, so I
You have
didn't
to
read,
read further.
and then I got it. But I was like, I remember texting you because I'm like, how does this end up there? Like we're talking about
That's
jaguars on a boat, and then how do we get to a guy getting hunted and like running for it? I was like, what happens
I
here?
mean,
Like
it
what?
was called Ship Trap Island, so there is that. But they steer
I
clear. They talk about the superstitious crew.
Yeah, I know. I wrote down the quote of the rough and tumble captain. That quote would walk up to the devil and ask him for a light. Seemed nervous and anxious about the island.
Yeah,
It's like
that's telling. That's very telling. I did like this quote. It says, "One superstitious sailor can taint the whole ship's company with his fear." I
I
feel like,
almost wrote that one down.
yeah, I feel like that, like for sailors, at least from stories and other movies, that sailors are super superstitious.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
agree.
I don't know why. I mean, at least back then, I don't hear about that now. I work with sailors, and I don't hear any superstitions now. Granted, technology's a little better.
Just a touch, just a
Yeah.
smidge better,
We've re
smidge.
we've replaced the sails for, you know,
Engines.
submarines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Nuclear powered
yeah.
submarines. Yeah, it's a thing.
Just a slight upgrade.
Yeah,
It's fine.
slide it.
All right,
Smidge.
it's
Smidge.
fine.
Smidge. A rock. Yeah, they could destroy it where it might hurt the submarine. It's gonna destroy the other boat. It's
It's
gonna
fine.
destroy the submarine. Anyway,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
so Whitney and him conclude their chitty chitty chat chat,
Yes.
and Whitney goes off to bed. It is
Yep.
still
He
pitch black
decides to
out.
retire for the night.
Yeah.
Yes.
Retire for the night. I want to retire forever. That
Yeah.
sounds better.
That sounds beautiful.
Doesn't it sound wonderful? I've got so many years left. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even want to think
I
about it.
have at least 7 more than you do.
You
So,
do. You do.
yeah. Stupid.
It's stupid.
Mm,
It's so stupid.
Stupid.
Stupid. I like it. Our finance guy asked me when I wanted to retire. I looked at him. Tomorrow sounds great for me. And
Does that work for you?
he kind of giggled. He's like, "You won't have much to live off of." I said, "Okay." I
Damn.
like tents. Just give me a
Tents
cot.
are
I'm
camping's
fine.
nice.
Camping's okay. Yeah, no, not gonna happen. Anyway,
No.
uh, so
Mm-mm.
So Whitney goes to bed, and Rainsford says he's not sleepy, he's not tired.
Nope.
And so he's just decided to stay on deck and relax and hang out and smoke his pipe. And this is where things go
Take a
sideways.
turn. Yeah.
Yeah, and for not for the
Mhm.
good. What happens? He hears three
He hears
gunshots?
three gunshots in the distance and he's trying to figure out where they're coming from. And so he stands on the side of the boat like a dipshit and
Yeah,
ends up falling in.
what I said. I said that was stupid. I'm like a dipshit. Absolutely.
Like he's
Where
like, I can see it. It's pitch black. There is no light.
is he
Why
looking
do
for
you
a
think
muzzle flash? I mean,
I I have they've already happened. Like what are I don't even then, just look from the 3 feet difference behind the it's not gonna change your visual.
no.
But no,
I
you're dumb and you fell in the water and now
I
you're
mean,
screwed.
yeah, I mean, he's a big game hunter. He'll be fine. He's immune to stupidity.
Clearly,
Yeah.
all the brain power.
I'm anyway, I've made mistakes before too. I've done dumb things. However,
But I
I'm not
haven't fallen off of a boat before.
not yet. It's
Not in
on
this
my bucket list.
situation.
It's on a bucket list. I've been there when someone has.
Somewhere.
I have been there when someone
So
has.
there you go.
Yeah, that was fun. That was exciting.
It
Um,
sounds really fun.
yeah, I mean, we were whitewater river rafting.
Oh, well, that makes sense then.
Yeah, and person fell out, right back in and kept on
Yeah.
rowing. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah, not in the middle of the Caribbean Ocean, sea, ocean,
Yeah.
whatever. So
Same.
yeah, the guy Rainsford is falls in. Thankfully, it's warm water. It's tropical water, warm-ish. I'm sure it's still cold to a point.
Not hypothermia inducing.
Not right away, at least. Not like out here.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
exactly.
Mm-mm. Actually,
Yeah.
that's a fun one with cold water. Me around cold water is the first time I swore in front of mom.
Huh.
You were there.
I'm sure I was. Do I have
Mhm.
memory of it? Absolutely
Probably
not.
not. Probably not. Yeah.
No.
But yeah, good times.
Hmm.
It was Flathead
Interesting.
Lake, Montana.
I remember that trip.
hmm We were on the boat. We were out anchored, 5 feet of water because that's just the water was really, really shallow, very far out. Just graduated high school. We're gonna go swimming. I jump in the water, got freaking punched in the chest by the cold water. Just said, "Fuck," and then climbed back in like a trout, like a salmon, right back in the water. And I look at mom just like, oh God, she's gonna gut me right here. And she just like, well, I'm not going in the water. It's not doing it. And she's like, I
Sounds
don't
like
care.
mom.
I looked at her all scared. She's like, you're 18. I don't care. Like, oh, okay, sweet.
That transition though, I was telling Maddie this, swearing in front of mom, because like crap was a bad word when we were kids.
Yes.
Like that slow of like, is that one good? Okay, cool. What about that one? Okay, that one's but not that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
But
now
not that
everything's
one.
free game.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then you have my children who swear accidentally and do it hilariously, and I can't stop them.
fair.
Okay.
That tracks.
I'll do one more story, then we'll keep moving on.
Okay.
So this is why our shit lasts 4 hours.
Forever.
Yeah. um, Ash taking the boys to school a couple days ago, and apparently the boys had watched something with golf. Don't know what, don't know where. And you know when they hit the ball, you yell four.
Yes.
He did not yell four.
I'm
He
assuming it's
yelled
another 4-letter word.
five-letter word.
Oh.
It rhymes with four, and it
Oh, got
sounds
it.
like four. So he yells whore in the car, and now she tells him you can't say that word, and then he goes, "Mom, what's a whore?" And now she has to answer him
Yeah.
in as close to PGG rating as she can.
Yeah, because it can't be like, oh, it's the name of like a dress, because then they're going to call normal things a very bad word. You have to explain what it is, but in
Mhm.
a way that's not
You have
bad.
to give the truth, but not the whole truth.
Exactly. Yep. Toe
For
that
sure.
line. Roll, roll,
Uh-huh.
roll careful.
He hasn't asked about it yet since then,
Perfect.
so it quelled his curiosity, and we got a
Perfect.
funny story out of it. So I
Beautiful.
can't
We should be good to
complain.
go.
I thought so, and I've been telling everybody that story because it's hilarious.
Absolutely. It is
Yes.
very funny. Mhm.
Okay. So
Moving on.
back to it. All right, so
So
yeah,
Rainsford's in the water.
he's in the water like a dipshit, like you said. I love that term. He's a freaking dipshit.
Thank you.
Uh-huh, no problem.
Yeah.
Uh, so
Hmm.
he swims and swims, and he hears a scream followed by a pistol shot, which quickly ends the scream. So
Yeah. And he goes, "Where there are pistols, there are men." And I'm like, you don't know what kind of men are
he
holding said
he
pistols.
he does mention that in the story. He does mention that in the story. But at this point,
Mhm.
you're on a
Yeah.
deserted island, supposedly a haunted island or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah.
But
No.
yeah, no, no bueno nacho. Um, and then
Yeah.
10 more minutes of hard swimming, he finds himself on the
Yep.
rocky shore. And I did like this,
Yep.
how he describes the sea, the water breaking on the beach,
Hmm.
the muttering and growling of the sea breaking on a rocky shore. I thought that was really just a way, the muttering and growling. I thought that was a really good way to put it.
Yeah, that's a really like uncommon, but like really still beautiful way to describe it.
Hmm.
Like very
Hmm.
interesting, but very
Yeah.
uncommon. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I saw it was kind of sound like a growl too. So I'm like the
Yeah.
muttering and growling. I'm like, oh, I really like that. I might steal that a little bit. Who
You
knows?
should. Yeah.
Maybe I will. It's kind of an
Maybe.
old story, so influence.
Maybe
Who
people
knows?
won't
Whatever.
remember it.
I remember. Maybe I remember it, huh? Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, good stuff. But yeah, then he climbs up on the rocks, still pitch black outside, and hits the end of a jungle, and is like, I tie now. I'm tired. I go sleep.
Nap time.
Nap time, and he goes to sleep
Yep.
and goes to sleep
Yep.
hard.
Quick nap.
I think it was a longer than a quick nap. It was a long ass nap.
'Cause I think he wakes up and it's like at least daybreak, right?
Afternoon.
Oh, I missed that part. I
Yeah.
did not
Well,
even note that.
yeah. He said the
Huh.
afternoon sun. He woke to the afternoon sun. I'm like,
Oh, yep, he did. Yep, that
Jesus.
happened.
Like I couldn't sleep that long. Well, I mean, I've been exhausted before, but holy crap. I've done
Yeah.
12 hours straight before couple times.
There was a period when I was a teenager where I slept 26 hours in 2 days. So,
That's a
yeah,
lot of hours.
that was when the anemia was peak.
Oh, you know what? You know what? I think I had similar because I had anemia when I was a teenager and I
Yeah, but
slept.
you took pills and yours went away.
I did take some pills, took some pills.
That does
uh,
not work for me.
yeah, it worked for
So,
me, no problem. Worked for me, no
yeah,
problem.
no.
Yeah, 12 hours I was sleeping at a time, and then it was like, I'm still sleepy. I think I'm sleeping too much. And then it was like, no, you just don't have any iron in your body. Oh,
Oh my God.
like that?
You slept too much. Whenever I tell people I'm tired, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I think I slept like 8 or 10 hours. You slept too much. You don't even know. No, I didn't. Thank you for your
Dude.
opinion, but no.
Yeah, no, 8 hours is good for me.
Drives me
So
nuts
seven,
every
seven
time.
hours, 6 to 7 hours is perfect for me. That's usually what I need. It's
I'm
good.
tired no matter what. So,
Ah, well, there you go. There you go.
yeah, good
Oh,
times.
okay. So he wakes his happy ass
So he,
up,
yep.
and what does he do now, Emily?
He decides not to go into the jungle because that's probably not a great place to go. So he tries to walk just like along the shoreline and he finds evidence of a hunter and his prey, stating it looks like a rather large animal and comments that the hunter used a rather small caliber weapon against such a large animal.
Mm-hmm.
And I made a note, knowing the story, I have a feeling that this is a man and not an animal, but that's just my guess. And then he sees boot tracks and he tries to follow them around the island because he thinks like going in the woods is too dangerous. So then he comes across a house and he uses a knocker and he's met with a rifle to the face.
Yeah, yeah,
Very welcoming.
yeah.
Yeah, he introduces himself and he's still met with the gun.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy goes into a military salute and he hears another guy coming up the steps. And we find out that that is General Zaroff, and the man that answered the door is Ivan. And we also find out that Ivan is apparently deaf.
Yes.
Yeah.
As he put it, Ivan is deaf, dumb, and a savage. Okay, so he's been met by Ivan, the deaf savage, as General Zaroff's
Yes.
words, not ours. Um,
Yes.
and General Zaroff, whatever the hell you want to call him, he is to say he's a hunter aficionado, I don't think is enough. He is
He is
obsessed.
completely obsessed, like neurotic about it.
Yeah,
Just
that's a good way
yeah.
to put it. Neurotic.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this is when we actually learned a little detail about Rainsford, that he's actually an author. He has written books on hunting, and
Yep.
Zaroff has read that particular book.
Yes, he sure did.
So, one second. It's all good. The whiskey went down the wrong pipe.
Oh, I just have been coughing because I
Mm,
tried to run yesterday. My body was like, "That ain't for you," and I was like, "Oh, okay."
you don't need to run. Running's bad. Running hurts the
I'm like,
knees.
"Hey,
Um,
if you do it wrong,
yeah, I do it wrong. I just weigh too much. That's my problem. I just
that'll do it."
I weigh too much. They say people who weigh over 200 pounds shouldn't run, and I'm like, facts.
If you're gonna run, you have to add strength training and mobility training along with it. So I think
Uh,
that you could easily be over 200 pounds and run. You just have to
do it right.
train everything to, yeah, to run. But
I see. Well, that makes sense. See, that makes sense.
yeah,
This is why I divert all of the expertise in that department to you, because
definitely not an expert, but I know more than the
the average
average bear.
bear, yes, and
Yeah.
I am a dumb bear.
I am not smarter than the average bear.
I am an average bear. Ah, that's
Got
me.
this.
Ah, yeah,
That's
we're good.
me.
I'm really good
Yeah.
at faking it, but anyway,
Yeah.
that's what I tell
That's all you gotta
everybody.
do.
That's what I tell
Yeah.
everybody at least. Okay, so
Yeah.
so this is where Rainsford shows some hospitality and invites him in, gets him fresh clothes, and invites him to eat, have a couple of cocktails with him, serves him good food, and they talk about really his Zaroff's big game obsession. So in the chateau, if you will, the
Yeah.
the dining hall, the whole place is filled with stuffed heads of the kills he of the game he's
Yeah.
hunted all throughout the world. Tigers, lions, jaguars, rhinoceros, everything. And he goes through his entire background, which I won't get into. If you want to read
Yeah.
it,
No.
it details it. He details it just fine. It's really not that long. It's like maybe a page,
No.
three quarters of a page, two paragraphs. It's
Yeah.
not that much.
No.
Um, and then he basically talks about how he's really tired of the game because he's nothing can best him, nothing can give him a challenge. And so
He's bored.
he's bored. He's bored. Poor
Mm,
General Zaroff.
I know. Poor
He's
fucking crazy ass.
poor crazy ass motherfucker. Uh so and that's when he informs Rainsford that he has found new game, the most dangerous game of all, a new animal. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not very new.
They are, in fact, not very new.
They're
No.
not new. Mm-mm.
No.
What
Mm-mm.
I and they're talking about this new animal, and he's like, "What?" He's Rainsford is asking questions because he's first really excited. He's like, "Oh shit, you made a new animal! You found a new animal! This is great! I want to know about it." And they're like, "Yes, it must be have courage, cunning, and be able to reason." And Rainsford's like, "Red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. This this psychopath ain't talking about hunting white-tailed deer or cougars."
When the general, like, I wrote down because when he says like he has one passion in life and it's the hunt, I went, here's the creepy serial killer peeping out. And then when he smiles creepily and states it's not the most dangerous and he hunts the most dangerous game. And I put Rainsford is not picking up the weird hints the general's putting down at all. Like he's like, huh, that's weird. Like until he gets to the cunning thing and like the reason, then he's like, oh, but oh, and I was like, oh, there we go. That got it. That got him. Oh god. And then
I mean, yeah, you got to think he's used to talking to other hunters who are very, uh, probably a bit narcissistic, confident, you know. So
for
maybe,
sure,
you know, maybe
me
that's a
just
thing.
consuming so much murder, I'm like, oh, red
Yeah.
flag immediately. And like knowing the end of the story, normal people are like red flag immediately. He's just like, oh yeah, yeah, sure. And I'm just like, honey, you are not picking up what he's putting down. Like you're just leaving it right
Mm.
there. And then when he finally is talking about he's like, "Oh, but animals can't reason." And the general says, "There's one that can," with a creepy, gross smile. Rainsford finally is like, "Hunting, my favorite. Great guns, General Zaroff. What you speak of is murder. And I put, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah. Yes, Rainsford is no Sherlock Holmes, that's for sure. Uh,
No. Yeah.
no, no, he's not. I mean, the guy already slipped off a fucking railing into the water like
No.
an idiot. So let's just go there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Here we are.
yeah. So we end that scene
Yeah.
with basically you're a part of this game now. You're not
Mm-hmm.
leaving. You can't leave because there's no roads or boats or access out of here. So you're going to play my game where you're going to be out in the woods for 3 days. I'm
Yep.
going to hunt you. And if you best me, um, we'll basically pop some sherry and drink it together. Because Zara thinks that that's just going to happen. After I'm trying to kill you, we're just going to
Yeah.
share a meal again.
Fine.
And he's like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not going to do that. And then Ivan, the deaf
Yeah.
savage, he's a giant guy, apparently. He's just big dude. Walks up
Yeah.
with, you know, some moccasins, some outdoor clothes, and the other hand, a cocked revolver. So or pistol or something, ready to shoot him if he doesn't do what he asks. So
Yeah.
and that ends the scene where they're in the chateau.
Yeah.
And so we move on to the actual jungle. So they release him at like I don't want to say dusk, a couple hours prior to dusk.
Yeah, because the general's like, I'm gonna take a long nap. You're welcome to take a nap, but I'm like, this is your time to get a head start because I'm going out when it's dark. So like, good luck, buddy. And yeah,
Yeah. And what kind of psychopath could be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go hunt you, or I'm gonna have people hunt me. I'm gonna go take a nap. I'm gonna relax enough to take a nap. My adrenaline isn't soaring right
yeah.
now." Yeah, no, it's not whatever. Yeah, no, I'm running.
I think I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go run. I'm gonna run now.
Absolutely. I don't have this in the bag. Hell no, I got no survival skills, my guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
no.
He's at least got some skills. So it was like, all
Yeah.
right. So what's the first? So he's out there for 3 days. The first day he's running around like a crazy person. He literally is like trying to make him follow a weird trail, like loop-de-loops and going back and forth and finally after it gets dark and he's tired of rummaging through the forest, it's thick jungle is what it is. He's like, I gotta
Yeah.
make camp somewhere and rest. So I mean, he climbs a tree and gets as far up as he can without making any marks and
Yep.
then waits because that's really all he can do at this moment. He doesn't have a knife, I don't think. Did he have a
I
knife?
don't think so.
I don't
I
think
don't,
he had a
maybe.
knife. I don't think he had a knife. I can't remember, but he climbs a tree and he waits.
He has a knife
He has a knife? Okay, okay, okay.
because he does that man catcher thing with the knife.
Sorry, right.
That's why I was like, hold on. I think I have it
Wait
in
a
here.
minute. Yeah,
Hold on.
he's got a
Yeah.
knife. He's got a knife. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so he hangs out in the tree and then nightfall comes and then Zaraf is out there.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. He does
Yeah.
something. He walks out and he's like sniffing around, looking around the ground.
It seems like Rainsford wants to try to nap in the tree, but he's also getting chased by a maniac, so you can't really take a nap. So he then eventually hears the general coming, and the guy just like he's first off like, fuck, he followed my trail, like damn it. And so the
In
guy's
the
like kind of
dark.
looking around in the dark when
In
he's
the
like gone
dark.
over it like 60,000 times.
Yeah.
And so he stops under the tree and he's like staring at the ground and he eventually turns and like looks at the tree and then slowly goes up the tree and Rainsford's like, I'm caught. But he doesn't go to where Rainsford is. He stops like a little bit before him and then he walks away. He like, I think he like laughs or something. Yeah, he smiles and walks back the way he came. And Rainsford's like, for real? Like, are you serious?
Yeah. And that's when he
And
realizes
he
he's
waits a
getting toyed
minute,
with.
climbs down. Exactly.
Yeah.
So he waits a minute to make sure he's not coming back. And then he does climb down the tree. And then he runs about 300 yards to a dead tree and takes out his knife. And I couldn't figure out what he was doing, but I figured it out later because I was like, what are you doing with your knife, my guy? Um, but he was basically setting up a tree on a dead tree so that when the general came by, he'd get smashed by the tree, is what he was trying to do. And then he went and like hid to try to make sure the general got killed by the tree. Melee man
And
catcher.
melee man catcher, yeah. And I basically
Hmm.
kind of pinned it up as like a deadfall trap kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so that's kind of cool. And then so after the Zaraf comes by and he triggers the trap, and but he's got such a good sense that he actually backs up just before it crushes him, but he does get hit in the shoulder. So he's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go fix this. You keep having fun, all right? That's what he announces it into the jungle, and then he skitters off, and I mean that's that at that point.
He
Gonna
says it's, quote, only a slight wound, is what he calls it.
a slight wound. It's just a but a scratch, but a
Yeah,
scratch.
just a slight one.
Yes.
He got
Um,
hit with a whole ass tree, but it's just a slight
it's
wound.
fine. Just pour some beer over it, throw some duct tape on it, and walk it off. Okay.
Exactly.
Just
I was gonna say the duct tape. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's fine. uh,
Okay.
so Rainsford then he gets caught in the swamp that they actually mentioned earlier in the story. It's called the Death Swamp, because
Hmm.
apparently a dog of the generals got caught there and actually killed another guy, I think, and so people have died there. Things have died there, hence the
Yeah.
name Death Swamp.
Hence the
It's
death. Yeah.
it's not, the happy-go-lucky swamp, it's
Like
Death Swamp.
Shrek.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he gets caught in the swamp, and then the details are a little fuzzy with for me on that one.
Yeah, we had to discuss this beforehand because I had no idea what was happening through most of this. I was
Mhm.
like, he's in the swamp, but he's not in the swamp. Cool, great. And he sets a trap, but is this guy or is it I don't, and then the dog, and then he's good. Like I was like, I don't
I think the dog came later,
I'm
didn't it?
so confused.
Yeah.
It did, but I mean, like in the
Okay.
timeline, he's like in the swamp, but then he's fine, and then he makes a trap, and then he thinks it's the general, and it's not the general, and then it's a dog, and I was like,
Mm.
so what happened? And the general's like, LOL, you took my dog, you didn't catch me, bye. And I was like, what? Like,
Yeah. It was very strange. It was very strange.
yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah,
don't. I
it
feel
was
like
a
they needed
lot.
more detail, like we were talking about, because things happen so quick, and
Yeah,
I think older writers used to just leave out details, or they let the mind do the filling in of the
yeah,
holes. Whereas
mine doesn't
new
do that very well.
authors, I
Yeah.
do if I'm going into it that way, but
Hmm.
like if I'm used to stories that are very dense and give great settings and detail. It's a short
Yeah,
story. It's not supposed to be
yeah,
incredibly detailed.
super in
So
depth. Yeah,
yeah, it's more about the events of the people, not necessarily the setting, um, as detailed as I mean. So
yeah.
but anyway, so yeah, so he escapes the swamp, and he makes is it a third night?
I couldn't really tell the days here.
Okay.
I think on the third day is when he does
Yeah.
the little jump,
Well, I
but
guess the next,
I could be completely, it could be the same night, it could be the second. I have no idea.
yeah, again, the timeline isn't exactly solid. But what we know is that there's a third encounter where Zaroff
Yes.
sends the hounds in, and
Yep.
yes, Rainsford sets up another trap because he can hear the dogs, and he hears a man coming along with them. And then what was the trap that he set? Was it an arrow or oh, no, 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 no. The punji sticks. Wasn't that the punji sticks? That was the
Um,
second night. The second
this,
trap.
those are the ones in the thing, right?
In the hole,
In the
yeah.
swamp.
The sharp
Yep.
sticks in the swamp. Okay. That's how he got the dog.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Which I
So
did not catch until you told me.
gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, he set up a punji, like the thing they used to do in Vietnam where they have small holes and they'd have sharp sticks and people and they put grass or moss over it. People would step on
Mhm.
it and have it go through their foot and they'd be injured. So he did the same thing for the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that was that night. And this other night was a little more aggressive.
Yes. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, because this is at least the next day, because I put daybreak comes,
Mm,
and Rainsford had fallen asleep, and so he then hears the hounds coming, which when it said the hounds, it gave me Mr. Burns vibes from The Simpsons. Release the hounds is exactly what I thought of, but I fall asleep listening to that, so that's why. So
I
he
love that.
then realizes he can stay Thank you. He realizes he can stay put, which is basically suicide. He can run, which is just delaying the inevitable suicide, or a third option that he doesn't know of yet. So he's like, gotta think of this on the fly. And
Hmm.
so he then climbs a tree, sees her off in the distance, sees Ivan, who is apparently holding the dogs on a leash. He rigs up the tree with a knife, and he ends up getting
Mm.
Ivan and not the general. I think it was either like a drop thing, or it was, I don't,
I
yeah,
I think, and I'd have to go back and reread again, but
yeah,
don't want to at this point, because we're
yeah,
talking. I think it was like he
yeah,
bent the sapling back, attached
yes,
the knife to it
yes,
somehow. I mean, because you can take saplings and pull, like they're really bendy, they're very fresh and green, which in the jungle you're gonna have
yeah,
vines or whatever, and you can tie it up, use it as a makeshift rope, string it around
yep,
and do that. So if he did that, he bent it at like a 90-degree angle and it was released. Then it came back and killed Ivan. And he was able to,
yes,
of course, all the hounds are loose and
yes,
he's having to run. And so,
yeah,
well, you run far enough on an island, you're going to hit water.
yeah.
And so he ends up diving into the ocean. Now, I can't remember how far deep the cliff is, if it was just a beach or if he was literally had to jump off. I can't remember that part, but it wasn't obviously huge.
No, I literally put a question mark by cliff because I was like, I think it's a cliff, but
I
it
mean,
wasn't.
if it's 6 feet, from the edge to the water, I'd call that a cliff.
That's true. Yeah,
If it's 10, 12 feet, as
yeah.
long as there's no rocks there, you're okay.
I mean, there could have been rocks, and he was just like, well,
It's either
we're gonna
I
try.
get mauled by dogs and killed by that weirdo, or I jump to my
Die on
death,
impact.
die on
Yeah,
impact, hopefully. Yeah, no
yeah,
kidding. No joke, but joking.
exactly.
Yeah. So that kind of ends the most dangerous game, the fun part, if you will, the dangerous part, and
Yeah,
it
the
cuts
game part.
the game part. Thank you. It's all dangerous, and
Yeah,
yeah, and it's definitely still the big game. Uh,
yeah,
they cut to Zaroff back at the chateau. This is the very end. Like I said, 16 pages, not very long. Back at the chateau, and you said it pretty well. He's like,
yeah.
I'll deal with Rainsford later. I'll lock the door here. And I'll have to replace Ivan, like he's
Everything's good.
like he's a
Yeah,
toaster.
sucks.
Yeah,
I
like
know
he's an
he's like he
appliance.
was like, he was good, but it's gonna be tough finding another one like that. It's like, yeah, when your favorite toaster goes out and you're like, shit, they don't make it anymore. Like, how am I supposed to what am I supposed to do now? And he's
Yeah,
like, well, that food was really good, but time to go to bed. And then he
yeah,
goes up and locks himself in.
yep. And then that's
Yeah.
where the magic happens. So apparently Rainsford pops out of, like, what was it, behind the curtains in his bedroom?
Yeah, because the general goes to his window and is like looking out and is like, such a beautiful view I've got. And then Rainsford pops out from behind the curtain. And the general's like, how'd you get here? Oh my God, you won. That's so great for you.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to make a big deal about this. And
Yes.
Rainsford's like, no, we do. We do though. Because you hunted me and tried to murder me
Yeah. For 3 nights straight.
for three
And
nights.
yeah. So yeah, when he said Rainsford, screamed the general, how in God's name did you get here? Swam, said Rainsford. I found it quicker than walking through the jungle. After that, he's like, they don't go into gory detail, but we know Rainsford
We are
kills.
fully aware.
Yeah, he kills Zaroff.
Yeah.
And then I love the
That guy's
last,
dead.
yeah, he's dead. I love the last line.
He's
He had never
dead.
slept in a better bed, Rainsford decided. So I wonder if he was able to get off the island, but that ends the story.
Yeah, but apparently he had a great bed.
Yeah, he had a great bed. Freaking phenomenal bed.
I put down the ending was 10 out of 10. I was not I was expecting him to like try and flag down a ship or like try to stay kind of off the like a little bit, like to where the general wasn't. I was not expecting him to do a gotcha moment jumping out from behind the curtain like you're dead now, bitch. That was not I was not expecting that. So that's a good like twist for fucking 1924.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like,
Well,
dang, dude.
I the problem with me was I already knew what happened because I mean I
I
read
did
the
remember I didn't
story.
know the gotcha.
I read the story when
Yeah.
I was in eighth or ninth grade, and it stuck with me. It was it was a really good story. Um,
Yeah.
as an eighth grader, you're like, man, I'm reading this in middle school. This guy's killing people.
What?
This is
I
awesome.
know.
Awesome. This is better than Romeo and
Wild.
Juliet. Forget that crap.
Oh,
You know,
God, I couldn't understand a word of that shit.
I mean, it was a good story, but we read it like 5 times when I was in school. It was obnoxious. Anyway, yeah,
I only read it once.
oh my God, I two once would have been enough. So, but 3 or 4 times just through the classes I hit, not my choice. But yeah, I liked the
Well,
ending. I
it's
thought it was good, and it was I love that there wasn't gory details necessarily, but it left it up to the imagination
yeah.
of the reader.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so that was actually
Me too.
almost an hour. That's pretty fantastic.
I know. Look at us go.
Yeah, I know we're killing it. 16 pages in an hour though. That's actually sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to rating this bad boy 'cause it's not a book, it's a story. It's a short story. Um,
Yep.
where are you falling on this one? Top, mid, or low well shelf?
I almost want to say somewhere between a mid and a top, just because there were some times that I was genuinely confused about what was going on. I think the premise is for sure top. It's just, it might just be the time that they were writing in that I just didn't quite get
Mm.
all of it. Um, so I mean, if there's like a mid top,
You know what? It's so funny you say that because I was trying to figure that out myself, and I'm
yeah,
like I say, I wouldn't put it at the top of my list. As for influence, unfortunately, I didn't realize about the freaking serial killer influence.
I did.
But that's amazing, in a terrible way.
uh,
But in just knowing the literary influence of Most Dangerous Game, obviously a top shelf thing, but people grew up with it essentially.
yeah,
So in that regard, I say it's top shelf because it's got nostalgia, it's got um, it's a foundation storyline for a lot of stories. But as of the all-encompassing story, I would probably hit it in the mid area because
yeah,
I personally want more detail. I
yeah,
want it to be a little longer. I love the simplicity of it, just having three speaking characters to the main character, the antagonist, or the protagonist, and the other main character, the antagonist.
hmm
So I did like that, but yeah, I'm kind of with you there. Mid top. I'm gonna honestly just say give it a
yeah,
mid level. I'm gonna say mid shelf on this one for me.
yeah.
So yeah, but
And this one.
yeah, on this one for me. I wouldn't mind reading some more of his stuff though. That'd be kind of cool. A
No,
future
absolutely. Yeah,
episode
he
maybe.
did a lot of stuff. So 300 short stories.
That's insane in the membrane. But cool then. So
Yes,
that's Top Shelf. We Top Shelf Book Club right there,
that is.
and our shortest
Look at
one
us
to
killing
boot.
it.
We're doing so good.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. Halfway through the season.
That's crazy.
I know. Well,
That
we'll
does
try.
not compute.
No. Well, we'll come up with another one here
No.
in the near future. When we don't know because these are less what do you call it, consistent. They're a little more
Yeah.
as is when we can finish a book and read it and meet because
Yeah.
sometimes it's more than one meeting. So
Usually more than one meeting. We've
you
had two now that have been one meeting.
yeah, and that's because the one we had for a solid 3.5 hours,
Yeah.
yeah,
And we
of
took
time.
all of that time. Yeah.
All the
All the
time.
time
It
that
was
we had.
ridiculous. All right, Ems. I had fun. Did you have fun?
I had so much fun. My
Good.
dog's having a good time.
Oh, he is. He's just having a freaking blast. Well, all right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Go check it out. We had it downloaded off of like Amazon or a PDF or something. So if you want to read it, they do have a
Yeah.
book version on Amazon.
I just Googled it and I found a PDF.
Yeah, that's all I did too. But maybe find some Richard Connell short stories. I
Yes.
hope you guys enjoyed this. Go and read it and go enjoy the other episodes too. So
Absolutely.
fantastic. All right, Ems.
Yes.
Love you, and I'll talk to you later.
Absolutely. Love you too.
All right. Bye, everybody. See you later. Peace.